What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to give you a quick overview of the data points, talk on exactly what is happening behind the scenes and why a value rally might be coming fairly soon. In addition to that, I just want to briefly touch on some updates for Lucid's leasing, because I've done a video, I think around 3 or 4 months ago, not necessarily the most optimistic, but they have started to really correct a lot of those errors that people didn't really like. So hopefully that should help a lot more as far as revenue, demand, and so forth. So I want to talk on that. Before I do, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently up 1%, it did have a low of $6.95, which coincidentally is that same point that the Q1 earnings, the sell-off as a result of that, bounced off of. So now the second time bouncing off of this S1, typically that causes a little bit more of a tentative upside. And especially if you do couple that with stochastic being very oversold, definitely could be coming fairly soon. In addition to that though, there is some good data coming out later this week, very much linked to consumers. So retail sales. If retail sales is very positive, then this is where a lot of stocks such as Lucid could go up as a result. So keep in mind though, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. I'll give you guys a quick overview, for instance, of a lot of the other data points, including what is happening with options. So right now there is $290,000 worth of call premiums, $234,000 in put premiums. So kind of even. Keep in mind, options doesn't necessarily move the stock price, just a little bit more of a sentiment, but it is a little bit more even because people don't necessarily know where it is going, at least in the short term. Based on big money getting in, there's only been 3 transactions today: 358,000, 179,000, and 773,000. Majority of which was all buys, and you can tell that based on the bid, the ask, and the price it actually sold for. So this is obviously a fairly positive thing behind the scenes. Latest round of 13 Fs. So it does look like the PIF did maintain their position. I think that was very much assumed. In Q4, they did increase their position. I think it was $915 million. And maybe if there is dilution, potentially at the tail end of Q3, on which I do estimate is coming, the PIF will be very much willing to add to their position. So that might be coming in the short term, but as of right now, there is no SEC filings, no press releases, nothing along those lines. It is just merely following the broader market. But like I said, because of everything, it could have a little bit more of a tentative value rally coming fairly soon. Number of retail investors are also getting in. So definitely a lot of fun things coming Lucid's way. Outside of that, I just want to give you guys a quick overview of, for instance, what shorts are doing. So right now they're increasing 435,000 shares, 23.81% of the free float, 156.66 million shares overall being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 24.59. So kind of a little bit lower, but still fairly high. So definitely that is something that could play into if there is good economic data. You might see a little bit more of a retracement with shorts. And Lucid has always just baffled me. I don't know why it has a 24% short interest. I know things haven't necessarily gone its way, but there's a lot of junk stocks out there with, for instance, lower short interest. So something just doesn't add up in my opinion. Let me know you guys' thoughts on that in the comments below. But overall, that's a quick summary of, for the most part, the technicals, data points, and things that are coming out. So the fact that, like I said, shorts are increasing on a very much green day, they are trying to suppress it and take it below this $6.96 because they know that this is a very big support. And if it does break that and closes below that, then it most likely will touch $6.43, which is unfortunate, but that's just how technicals work, especially with the whole debt ceiling kind of fear that's been lingering. It looks like they're going to be starting talks. I believe it is on Tuesday. So hopefully that does get resolved fairly fast. But like I said already, I did a video 3 or 4 months ago, give or take, about leasing and why it wasn't advantageous, because Lucid, their resale values just were complete garbage. It just didn't work out. And looking on Lucid's program right now, or their website, things have looked fairly good. So they've added a little bit more of the kind of glitches that were happening. And as you can see, for instance, right here, it does show an exclusive Lucid Air lease and loan offers up until June, or through June the 30th. So definitely, I think that is a fairly good sign, especially as well, it looks like they're offering 0.99%. And that's a nice change because I believe it was at 3.5%, give or take. So definitely that is a very good incentive. And also keep in mind during Q3 though, this is where they did address that during their transcripts and their earnings, the fact that they have not necessarily the best lease program. They admitted that, which I kind of valued. agreed and was very honest to them. But they said that because they don't necessarily know how to price in the resale value of a Lucid, because coming from their standpoint, they have to kind of resell it back, right? So they have to be able to make a profit. So it's hard to really judge exactly what a Lucid Air is going to be costing after, for instance, the 72 months, for argument's sake. But the fact that they are now offering a lot of incentives and cheaper pricing, I think this should be able to help with a little bit more data. And if you do go through all of this, it kind of does put the value at a little bit more of an advantageous price as far as resale, because most likely they've had, give or take, around a year or so just to gather some additional data. So their leasing program is starting to kick off, and I think in general that is a fairly good sign, because like I've said in the past on previous videos, by leasing, stat purposes, of course, it does incentivize at least 15 additional % for customers. So that might result in more customers and so forth. But once again, I think this is a good thing. And I always like to point out the fact that when there is a aspect of Lucid that I don't like, that I have brought up on, and they correct it, I like to bring that up, because obviously it gives recognition to Lucid that they are actually moving in the right direction. Because like I've said, things haven't really gone Lucid's way for many various obviously reasons. The fact that they are actually improving, that's what I wanted to highlight. So definitely you're not going to get rich overnight with Lucid, but as long as they are continuously making improvements in the right direction and not making as many mistakes, then still that is a good investment. My own opinion, of course, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys do your own due diligence, and these videos are strictly for entertainment purposes only. So let me know you guys' thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Do you, for instance, think a lot of the analysts are fairly accurate with a consensus price of $8.56, which is around 21% upside? Do you think that is realistic, or do you think it should be significantly higher? What do you guys think about leasing? Would you guys ever lease a Lucid Air, for instance, or maybe a Gravity whenever it does come out? What is your guys' take on Lucid as of right now? And do you agree with me that a potential value rally might be coming fairly soon? I personally do see it, even though on the technicals it's kind of on the edge a little bit, but if you can actually hold, and with good economic data coming out, this is where you can easily see a little bit more of a tentative rally. But keep in mind, like I've said in the past, sometimes my crystal ball doesn't always work, and it's always just good in theory. Technicals are fairly good at analyzing previous data just to give you a good projection of where things might be going, but of course it could be wrong sometimes. Let me know you guys' thoughts on all this in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, this is a promo for May only. Link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for a free account, you get one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So even if you just do that, take advantage of free. Free is the best dollar value, with exception of Lucid's stock price, but still generally take advantage of this while you can. Link in the description below and also the comments. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.